So last class we were talking about the computer components and other items. So then we have discussed up to the different components like chip, random access memory, motherboard, secondary memory, hard disk, etc., CD drive, reader, etc. Then we were talking about two most important items. One item we call it as a north bridge, another item we call it as a south bridge. So coming to the north bridge, yeah. So north bridge, the intention was it will connect to the CPU and it will connect to the random access memory. So this was the main duty of the random access memory. And whereas the south bridge is going to be concerned, south bridge, yeah, it goes up with the um, peripheral devices and the BIOS and the battery and the secondary storage devices, the floppy disk, etc. So all these items that will be taken up via the south bridge. So that was the primary difference what we were talking of. So as far as north bridge is going to be concerned, so north bridge, yeah, it is associated with the synchronous dynamic RAM with the dual double rate RAM, the graphical port, and the basic central processing unit. So this was the first intention. Then we are going to have the south bridge here. So south bridge, yeah, it will connect to all type of input output devices. The ports, so ports are the positions where we are going to connect the input and output devices. Then we are going to have the peripheral slots. Then we do have the basic input output system BIOS and the battery, followed by the F drive, D drive, E drive. So these we call it as the secondary memories, etc. Up to this we talked. Next one we talked about the SMPS. So SMPS, it is going to be related to the power. In general, power supply will be of 240 to 240 megahertz and hex volts, and it should be converted to some plus 5 volts or 12 volts. So other than that power comes, so there is a chances for the CPU to break down. So these are the reasons why we were using uh, the SMPS. Yeah, this is the holistic architecture what we have discussed up to now. We have the central processing unit at the middle. Above it, we have the fan. Then we have random access memory, and it is of synchronous dynamic random access memory, dual double rate RAM. Then we do have the north bridge, which is connecting with the CPU with the graphics port and the random access memory. Then comes the south bridge. It is associated with the peripherals. It is associated with the ports, etc. So these are the some of the components, and we do have the CMOS battery where it keeps up updating always the date and time for the CPU, etc. Then we do have the ports. So ports, this is the back view of the port, and front view of a port. If you are using your laptop, you can see the ports where you can giving the USB port. You give your charging to your mobile phone. You connect your keyboard. You connect your mouse. You connect your internet cable. You connect your battery positions. So all these positions we are going to call them as a ports. So all the input and output devices, they will be connected to the ports, and then they are going to be connected to the microprocessor. So this is what the front view of the port is. So one position, you can connect your mouse, you can connect your keyboard, you can connect your LAN cable, and you can connect the pen drive. So that is what we call here as a USB port. Then you can connect the printer. Then you can have the VGA graphic adapter, the parallel port, and then the VGA card with the graphics port and the microphone. So input and output microphone positions. So all these, they are going to be part of the ports towards the computer. So you are able to see the front view in your laptop also. Whatever port positions you are able to see in this picture, the same port positions is available to your laptop right now. You can even see just now towards your left side of your laptop or right side of the laptop or front side of the laptop, you will see these positions. So the position where you are going to put your keyboard, the position where you will insert your mouse, position where you will insert your mobile phone charger adapter, or position where you can connect your laptop to the internet, and then to the scanner, to the projector, and to the monitor, or to the graphics port, and then the headphones where you are going to connect, so that is sound support pins, etc. Yeah, you are aware of this USB port. It is up to 127 devices. You can connect it with this USB port. The first basic example is the mobile phone adapter, mobile phone charger. So to charge your mobile phone, you frequently connect your mobile phone to this, and then you give a charging, or if you want to save the memory card photos to your laptop, if you want to transfer, then you are going to use this cable wire, and then you are going to do it. Similarly, the mouse, if you are using a mouse, that to wired mouse, so definitely wired mouse will have at one end the position. So that is the way we are going to call it as a USB port here. So in USB port, it is going to be treated as a plug and play, and it is going to be easily connected, and it can work with a speed of some 480 megabits per second, and then we can connect up to 127 devices. So that is all regarding the USB port. And next we do have this parallel port. So coming to this parallel port, yeah, we have a flexibility to connect the parallel port via the printer, and it is going to have this as a 25 pin, and how much speed it is going to work means it is going to work with 100 kb speed, and how many instructions, how many bits it is going to transfer means it is going to transfer around 8 bits, and how much power consumption it is going to take means we call it as between 2 5 volts, etc. So the first and foremost important thing was parallel port is a way you can connect your printer to the computer, you can connect the printer to your laptop. So that is why we are going to use up the parallel port. Similarly, we do have another serial port where serial communication can be performed here. So you can connect a internet via a modem. So this was the main intention of using a serial port. So in the home, you have your Wi-Fi, you have your uh, circuitry towards the modem, etc. And that modem, if you want to connect it to your laptop or a desktop, the position where you are going to connect, we are going to call it as a serial port, and it is going to transfer bit by bit at a time. So this is all regarding the serial port, and it is transferring information of around 115 kilobytes per second. So this is all the other thing. Next one, you are aware this is a mouse here, and mouse, it is connected with a cable, and yeah, this is the old generation mouse. So it is PS by 2, which is developed with this IBM people, and via this you can connect your uh, mouse or a keyboard. So this is all regarding the other things. So screws, you are aware of the screws, etc. And yeah, this is all regarding the ports what we have understood. So first we looked at the different components. We talked about CPU, we talked about north bridge, then we talked about south bridge, then we talked about the graphics card. We talked this is basic input output device. We talked about the south bridge, we talked about the battery, then C drive, D drive, E drive, that is the secondary storage device. Then we talked about the random access memory, and all these items are the positions where we can connect the input and output devices, modems, keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, scanner, so LCD projector, all these elements, they can be connected to this, and then they are going to be moved to the CPU for interaction. So this is all regarding the different components for the motherboard. So again, same description was happening to just, it is a quick recap of what was happening inside. So when you see the cabinet, when we look at the cabinet here, so cabinet, it is going to have the SMPS, where it is going to use some power supply. Then you are going to put the CPU at this position, and so obviously you need to have a fan for it. So until, because you need to cool the cool the CPU. So for that you are going to give up the fan. And then we have add-on cases, that is if you are having more than uh, 2 or 3 hard disks, then they can be adapted at this position. So for that we are going to call them as an cables. So now in another view, you can see here, uh, this is the cabinet, and the other thing was you can connect the secondary storage device, high definition disk, then you can connect the floppy disk, so inside the cabin. Then we have the speakers, etc. So for the sound amplification, we are going to have the speaker. Next thing, this is where we are going to have a fan, and it should not be splitted off, etc., to the ground or disturbed. So you need to lock it, and that locking, we are going to call it as leverage locking. And then it is having a power supply of 15 volts and the ground, and thereby we are going to have the synchronous dynamic RAM, which is an advanced version of the random access memory. We call this as a SD-RAMs here. And so it is and then we have the floppy disk. Yeah, this is the button where you can click on it to eject, and then you put your floppy disk, and then you can visualize the things. So different screws over the cabinet or to the laptop also, you can have these screws. So we are going to have the games like uh, PUBG and all, if you want to play it on a mobile or on your computer. So then you need to have the graphical card. So we call it as a some graphic port, and this is the where the graphic port is look. And you can see the graphic port, which it is going to be in a top view. Beside that, we are going to have the fan, and below that fan we are going to have the central processing unit. Yeah, second thing, if you want to connect uh, a LAN card, so that if you want to have some internet, or if you want to have a intranet, then this is the position where you have to connect that wire. So that wire, it is transmitting the data with the physical layer, network layer, and data link layer. So every layer, it is going to be processed via the chip at this point of time. So these are the different cables which are going to work so to transfer the data. So if it is of 80 uh, lines, so it works better than the 40 lines cable, etc. Now let us look how we can assemble the CPU at this point of time. You have a cabinet, and then first of all you are going to bring up the motherboard here. Yeah, this is the motherboard here. So now this position where besides the CPU is there, we call it as a system bus. So when I'm going to call it as a system bus, then it is having of a address bus, data bus, and control bus. So all these items, they are going to be provided over the board, and this is the circuitry where it integrates with CPU, it integrates with memory, and it integrates with the IO ports. So for all that, we need to have the system bus, and in this system bus, we have address bus, data bus, and control bus. All these, they are going to be treated at this motherboard. So the first and foremost thing, when you want to install your desktop computer, you need to have a motherboard here. So motherboard circuitry, and after that you are fixing it with the screws here. Then this is the position where you are going to insert your microprocessor chip. So you are inserting the microprocessor chip here, and then you are locking it. So this was the locking position of the chip, and this is the positions where you are injecting the chip, and then you are going to make the locking. So this is some Intel Pentium chip. So Intel Pentium 4 chip. So this Pentium 4 chip you are discharging to this position, and you are locking it off, and then you are going to give up the things to the fans here. And so why we are going to put the fan over the chip was because it need to get some cooling, and so it goes up. So this is the locking leverage contents, and then uh, we are linking these components to the where we have this system bus. We have the system bus. So you can see the circuitry, how the system bus was fabricated here. So system bus, it is connecting all the components inside the motherboard. So this is where the system bus is going to be integrated. So when we are putting this towards the system bus, yeah, we have the address lines, we have the data lines, and we have the control lines. So all these lines, they are going to be placed up at this position. So we have done with the CPU. Next, at this position, we have to insert the random access memory. So that is where we are going to put up the random access memory. It can be synchronous dynamic RAM, or it can be dual double rate RAM. So it is 256 megahertz speed it works, and dual double rate 512 megahertz it is going to work. So it depends on the chip to chip, and now the speed is even more increased. So you have seen at this position you are putting the RAM chip. You are going to insert the RAM chip. So this is how you are going to pull up the things. Then you need to give +5 volts, and then you need to give the ground. You need to have the power supply. So how you are going to give a power supply means you are going to give it with the SMPS. So SMPS, you are going to put it to the computer. So any computer will have the same procedure, will have the same strategy of pulling up the things. So at this position, we are going to give the power supply. So power supply, it is treated by SMP and S. So this is the thing. Yeah, you are going to fix it with the screws, nuts, etc. And then you are going to give up the cables. So via the cable, you are able to establish the peripheral connection. You are able to establish the bus connection, establishing the CPU, establishing the RAM, establishing the ROM. So everything you need to be interconnected with one another. So that internet interconnection you are going to do with the cables. So via the cable, you are able to link all these holistically. Next one, we are going to put the hard disk. We are going to insert the hard disk, that is C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. So you are going to put at this position. So this is where the operating system, the other programs, the Java, Python, C, all our programs has to be there. So for that, we are going to put these things in the secondary storage devices and use it towards the computer. Then we are going to fix up with the screws. So then again, the data transfer has to be given to the motherboard. So these are the positions where you are going to connect the secondary storage device. So that's how you are pinning up at this position. So this is the way we are connecting the secondary memory. we are connecting the secondary memory, C drive, D drive, E drive and F drive. You are connecting those things. Yeah, so from the position you are again linking it to the secondary storage devices position directly. Then you are installing up the floppy disk. So yeah, this is a old generation system. Nowadays floppy disks are not there, it is vanished totally. Similarly, we are going to have this power supply. So first of all, we have given data transfer, then we need to give plus 5 volts, we need to give ground, we need to have the power supply. So in order to have this power supply, we are going to link it with the connections. So this is all regarding the power supply position. So two things we have to take care. One thing we should understand, it should be used for data transfer to and in or from and to, whatever it is. Second thing, if that device has to be operated, it needs some computer power. So for that, we are going to give this with a cable. So in general, it will be plus 5 volts, it will be 12 volts, or it will be of some grounded connection. Yeah, then we are going to install the we are going to install the CD-RAM, CD drive. So this is CD-ROM we are going to install. Then again we are going to bring it up and then connecting to the cables. So this procedure is common. So we insert the cable, then we are going to have the data. The data has to be given to the motherboard, then it should function. So we have to give plus 5 volts current to it or a power supply to it. So these are the two fundamental items for each and every component. For each and every component, these two will be the fundamental items. Okay, fine. Next thing was to link the LAN. Next thing was to link the LAN card. So why we are needing this LAN card? Because I want to connect my laptop and talk to two or more laptops, or I want to connect my desktop to two or more content source. Then I need to use an internet, an Ethernet connection. So obviously that it is all processed with the LAN. So for that we are going to process the LAN port chip here, and that it is going to be taken up as a peripheral component at the towards the port end. So this is how we are going to place the LAN card. So LAN card was installed on the motherboard. So LAN card was installed at this position on the motherboard. Yeah, so this is the exterior view. You can see towards your left side or right side of your laptop also. You will have the same type of circuitry, because you want an internet connection via a cable. So definitely this position will be there. If you are not having this, definitely you are going to use the Wi-Fi routers only. So this is the way you can connect a cable to the laptop or a computer. Yeah, fine. You are then connecting it with the screws. Then you are going to give the power supply. So this is how we are going to take it up. So what was this item means? The first item, we are going to call it as a CPU, and that too it is going to be an Intel Pentium processor, and it is of works with 1.6 Hz. The second component, we are going to call it as a power supply event. We call it as an SMPS. Third component, we are going to call it as a cabinet, where it is going to hold all type of circuitry, hardware circuitry which is associated to the computer. Next thing, we are going to have a fan. It is used to cool the processor. Then we are going to have the synchronous dynamic RAM, or we are going to have the dual double rate RAM. So these are the items where we can link for the secondary storage devices, etc. So then we are going to have the hard disk here, hard disk, and this hard disk, it is having some 500 GB capacity or 1 terabyte capacity. So you can see this picture of the hard disk. Similarly, we are going to have a floppy disk. Then we do have a CD-ROM screws. Then we are going to have the AGP, that is the graphic card port. So then we are going to have the LAN. We are going to have the LAN port or LAN sockets here. Thereby, this is the position where we are going to give up the microprocessor other name, we are going to call it as a CPU, and this box we are going to call it as a north bridge, and north bridge it is going to connect the CPU, it is going to connect the memory, and then we have the other word, we call it as a south bridge here, and this south bridge, yeah, it is going to connect the peripheral devices, the programmable, the peripheral component interconnect, followed by floppy disks, followed by input output ports. So to all this south bridge is going to be associated. So the rounded circle, we are going to call it as basic input output system. We are going to call here as a battery here. So which it is going to give a continuous power supply when shut down the system, etc. And second one, the other item we are going to call it as secondary memory. So in this secondary memory, we are able to have the C drive and D drive, etc. So towards the left hand side, you can see all these items, they are going to be called as input or output ports. So these input and output ports, they are going to use to see that our input output devices are connected to the ports, and from that ports they will be coming to the system bus, and from the system bus they will be able to connect to the central processing unit. So this is how we are going to interpret the content. So these two slots, they are going to give up the random access memory, SDRAM and DDRAM, and this is what we are going to call it as a graphic port content. And then we are going to have the peripheral component interface for linking up the peripherals, and then this item we are going to call it as a south bridge. So south bridge, yeah, you can connect all the input output ports. So for that we are going to use this south bridge, etc. So this is the power supply connections to the LAN card, etc. And then you can see the sockets for the CPU here, and then the positions where we can closely insert the CPU, and then the screws and the position where you are going to insert up the chip. And the golden color item, we are going to call it as north bridge here, north bridge. And then you can see the association between the IO ports, the association between north bridge and the IO ports, and the association between the uh, random access memory, etc. So north bridge associated with the CPU, north bridge associated with the DDR RAM or SDRAM, and the graphics card. So this is the relationship. And then we are going to have the um, south bridge, and south bridge, it is able to connect to the secondary storage devices, it is connecting the input output ports and the peripheral component interface, the basic input output system, the battery item, etc. This is battery item. These are the positions where we can connect the cables for the secondary storage. This is the front view of the ports. One, you can connect your keyboard. Another, you can connect your mouse. You can connect your printer. You can connect your scanners, connect the LED projectors, then connect the position for your sound system. So at the laptop level, both the speaker will be inbuilt, microphone will be inbuilt, so we need only one cable. But when we are going to look at to a desktop computer, it will bifurcate the audio, and it will bifurcate the input audio and output audio, right? So that is the reason why we separate the things. So speaker symbol is there, and again we have this input signal for the audio also. This is all we also mentioned. So again, it is, I think, repeating the task. So This is the holistic view of giving you uh, towards an introduction of how exactly the things are going to happen. Okay, so